Hi guys, welcome to this week's video. This week I'm picking up the squad analysis series again, and I'm looking at week 12, so the weekend that's just gone of FUT champs, and just analysing the top 25 squads, seeing what players have moved into their squads, what players have moved out. Similar approach to last time, so going into FUT champs, Champions channel, checking out a player's squad by seeing what players they select on in-game, and then just noting those players down. Trying to use the player's last game, so you would have imagined that someone would be using their main team for their last game. They might start the first 10 games testing a team out, but for the most important games to get top 200, you would expect someone to use their main team that they've used throughout the whole weekend. So that's how the data is gathered in the first place. Right in front of you, this is how I've tracked that data. So some formations vary. Ultimately it's 4-4-2, but there has been the odd formation where someone's gone 5-3-2 or 4-1-2-1-2, but that's quite rare. Everything seems to be like in a 4-2-2-2 or 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1 setup, where you've got key central players in attack, key wide players, 2 CMs or 2 CDMs. So that's the general setup for the top 200. And generally the formation seems to be 4-4-2, which is probably no surprise if you do track formations and what people use throughout the year so far. So first up is goalkeepers. The biggest rise here is Ederson, seeing him in a lot of teams, and this accompanies the centre-back change that we'll talk about in a second, but Ederson is the most popular keeper at this stage of FUT champs, so this is after week 12. Van der Sar still keeping his second spot. The biggest mover here is Alisson just dropping off completely. He was one of the most used goalkeepers before in recent weeks, or sort in earlier weeks, but now just completely not used. So Ederson and Van der Sar are the main picks. You've got other honourable mentions for Areola, Pope, Schmeichel, Neuer, ter Stegen, and I guess Alisson is still used by some top 200 players. He just doesn't feature in any of the top 25 squads on Xbox this weekend, so Ederson seems to be the sure pick. I believe that's his in-form version. Moving on to right back, so again probably accompanies the goalkeeper and centre-back change that we're seeing. Cancelo, his road to the final card, been in packs now for about 3-4 weeks. That seems to now be the popular choice instead of Walker, who Walker was first. So there's been quite a lot of time and new cards coming onto the market. Walker's completely off now at right back, and Cancelo is the go-to. Again, nice mentions for Tavernier, Kleiber, who was the SBC, and he accompanies that Robin SBC as well. So Kleiber was the showdown SBC. A lot of people have been using him recently. So they're the 3 main right back choices. But yeah, Cancelo at 36% is the main one. Semedo, Cuadrado also used. Mendy was used there also once. Moving on to centre-backs, Varane keeps his top spot quite comfortably, still used in 84% of squads, and Walker alongside him now. There was a lot more between Walker and Gomez in the initial squad analysis videos, but yeah, Walker's right up there as this is the main centre-back pairing, Varane and Walker. And really, looking at the other guys are only appearing in 1 or 2 squads. Whilst Gomez, Traore, Van Dijk, Campbell, Jimenez, Klosterman, Koundé, even someone's used Vieira there in the 5-3-2, Marquinhos, even someone's put Kleiber out of position as well. But Varane and Walker are the main guys for this position. You know, you can easily take that from this analysis. Still keeping his top spot, but not as convincingly. So Mendy, I think in my first video, he was the main guy, the first player on the team sheet, used in 96% of squads, using every squad bar 1 basically. That's slowly dropping as we see better left backs, but because of Varane's dominance at centre back, Mendy is still the go-to pick here. So you're seeing Hernandez. I think when people can deal with Hernandez's chemistry as a French player, you can easily link him with Varane and wrap him in with someone like Mbappe. Seeing Van Aanholt, Davies, Bellerin was used there, and Traore. I thought we'd see more of Traore, I must admit, but he's not as easy to link, and I think that's why Mendy still keeps his top spot in the left-back position. A position that's seen some movement in the last, 5-6 weeks. So Vieira is now the assured top spot. He was featuring about in the 6th or 7th place, so he still was featuring before, but not as much, and it was actually Hullet which was the main guy in this position. I don't know if this is linked with people selling their teams. There's no obvious reason why Hullet would have dropped off the list. You know, if people could afford him 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, then why has he dropped out now? I don't know if people are finding something about Hullet. Maybe they prefer Vieira's work rate in defence. I'm not sure, but for this week, the top 25 seem to be preferring Vieira and then Fernandes, and I reckon that's either his new headliner card or his team of the group stage card. One of those two I think people are probably using. And so Sanchez dropping a little bit, was I believe second or first before. He's dropped off a little bit, I think, as maybe people have got more money or people are linking certain items in their squad. Not quite sure why that drop off is there as well, but I guess if people have got more money for an icon like Vieira, then he is better than Sanchez. Firmino also coming in, so that's his FUT freeze card. Didn't actually expect that many people to do him, but you know, the top 25, these guys that are in top 200 week in, week out, they should have, but at this point, some decent funds or at least some decent fodder behind them, so they can do SBCs like Firmino. And yeah, so 24%, the joint third highest use centre midfielder in the last weekend league. Too late to do him now, so it's not like you can do anything with that information. But yeah, if you did do him, then it's a good sign that he's being used in top squads. Other guys, so they're the main four mentions for Valverde, Blanc, Gravenberch, so people using him now. I think to link Robben into their squad. Hullet only used once, which is a big fall. Kante, Aouar, Varane, Rashford, Neymar. People using Rashford and Neymar. Someone used them in the 5-3-2 formation. Someone using Savic from Lazio as well, just once. Cuadrado being used in there. Llorente, Essien, and Beckham. A Beckham shout. Not sure what version that is. Could be one of his icons, but yeah, Beckham makes the list. So that's all for centre midfielders. On to the attackers, and we see a shift between Ronaldo and Neymar now, and it might be because of his informed. People now, you know, 94 Ronaldo is that much better now than a 92 Ronaldo. That might be the reason why. Like, Neymar hasn't had a special card, so that might be enough to shift people to prefer Ronaldo in attack. I'm not sure. But yeah, so Ronaldo taking the top spot from Neymar, but it's still the normal four. It's still Ronaldo, Neymar, Mbappe and Rashford. And that seems to be the general trend, unless you can afford the big guys. So like R9 featuring, keeping his spot from before in around 5th place. Pele going up as well. So those are the two icons that people are preferring. You got Felix coming in a bit more. Saint Maxim, Robben now. So 3 people used him this weekend. But otherwise, just the normal mentions from people using odd players just once. So Cruyff, Dembele, Eusebio, Zaha, Van Bergen. Again, Van Bergen probably for that Robben link. Mane, put Mane in twice. Eto'o and Sanchez. So just to drill down into those attacking positions, so you saw the main 4 guys, but right side it looked like people are using Mbappe more, but also using Rashford there as well. That's fairly equal between those two. And sometimes Felix is being put out wide, so only used in 4 squads. Out of 2 of those, he was actually used in a wide position. So I found that quite interesting. I only considered using Felix central really, but no surprise to see ASM and Robben out there. So looking at the left side, we have also Neymar. Neymar is someone I'd expect to see centrally, but I think if people are playing up top with Ronaldo and an icon, then Neymar's being shifted out wide. And yeah, Mbappe and Rashford are, again, the normal guys for a wing position, but people seem to prefer them on the left side or right side. There's no real dominant preference. I guess looking at the right side again, Rashford 6, Rashford 4 here, Mbappe 6, Mbappe 7. There's not much between the positions at all between those two guys. Sometimes Ronaldo being used wide, just the once, and the rest of the positions are just filled up with people who were used once. And so finally going on to the striker position, Ronaldo is now or is still the dominant player here. Was first before, is still first. 80% of people using him. He is at this point, based on the squad analysis, the best striker or the best selection in the game, or maybe who's more affordable than R9 at least. And then we have Neymar, which is again no real surprise there. A lot of people like using him centrally, but then Pele and R9, maybe for the guys that have a bigger budget. And then, yeah, the rest again made up of people who came into squads once or twice. So that's it for the positions. Just to summarise all of that, so this is what you're looking at your kind of meta squad nowadays. It's not too dissimilar to what it was before, really. Like the main four guys, yes, they've got different special cards now. Rashford's been boosted, Ronaldo's been boosted recently in an attacking sense, but these guys would have been popular before, either their base cards or their other special cards. Fernandes again was there before, and he was sharing that position with Hullet, but now Vieira just comes in to replace him. In defence, so Walker was most popular at right back, now he's the go-to centre back. People seem to prefer him a lot more than Gomez now at this stage in the life cycle, and I think that's probably helped by Cancelo's card as well. Cancelo's card, maybe like Cancelo and Walker is better than Gomez at centre back and then Walker at right back. Well, personally, I think it's a lot better, and I think that's the reason why you see that pairing on the right side. Ederson is, I don't think there's a lot to goalkeepers. It's just simply a lot of people are using Walker and want to use him for the chemistry to Walker. And then you've got Varane and Mendy, and because you've got the perfect link between those two, you don't need to give the chemistry to Varane with a goalkeeper. So I think that's, again, another reason for Ederson. But no surprises that Varane, and people are probably using his special card, but people might also be using his base. Not sure, can't actually tell what versions of players people have got from the Champions channel, but it's safe to say people are still using base Mendy, and he's still the go-to left back. And yeah, just to reiterate that point, actually, I can't tell what version of player, maybe by hairstyle or that kind of thing, I could tell from the FUT Champs video, but it's really difficult. Only for icons you can really tell that. And so for Vieira, for example, I don't know if it's the base or mid or prime. Guessing his mid, just because it's probably the more affordable out of the lot, but people might be playing his prime, not sure. It's just the version of player that's being used. So I hope you found that video interesting and useful for your squads. I've actually found it really helpful. I changed my team a lot last time based on this and got Gomez in, and I think my next shift, I already have Varane, already have Mendy, already have Ronaldo, Neymar, was already using Fernandes and Rashford, so it will be someone to replace Vieira, a bit cheaper. I'll bring Mbappe in after Team of the Year, and I will be bringing in Inform Walker, because also I've got Cancelo as an investment. He's really cheap. It's like, he was about 100k when I picked him up, probably a bit more now, and I wouldn't expect Ederson. You can probably get away with using Ederson's base if you have to, but Walker's probably one of the most important investments to make, just because he's been in packs so long and there's been no new supply of him. He's the oldest card here, so it's a card that I only expect to go up. But at the same time, Team of the Year may change that. We may get a really good Ramos that people want to use and put alongside Varane. At the same time, Gomez might even come back into the fold because we get a really good Van Dijk. So I will be doing another one of these, maybe a couple or a few weeks after Team of the Year, just to see what the pickup of those guys are and what Team of the Year players are appearing in squads. That's probably the next biggest video for the squad analysis series. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys, and see you next time.